Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. That sounds like love. And I feel loved up here. So thank you. Alrighty. So, and speaking of love, we like to give all our poets love up here. And as I give you a little bit of a warm up to that thing, I'm going to read our mission statement this evening. And just pretend every word that I'm saying is just pure fire just coming out of here. So here at the Berkeley Slam, we challenge the notion that anyone needs to be given a voice, or that anyone, anywhere can be a voice for the voiceless. Regardless of whether you vocalize, people are never voiceless. In reality, they are being overlooked and intentionally ignored. Our top commitment is to provide spaces where persons of any and all genders, sexualities, ethnicities, abilities, and ages can tell their own unique stories. Stories which convey their attitude, their personality, and their character. All right, now that level of energy is what we expect for every single poet out there. From the first round to the second round to our feature this evening. Who knows who our feature is? Woo! Well, any of you who don't, you're going to find out this evening, and it's going to be wonderful. So moving on along, there are a few rules to the Poetry Slam. I know it's not fun, but it's just a thing that we have to do to keep some semblance of an order here. So poets, there is no costumes, there is no animal accompaniments, there is no props. Props means something that you bring onto stage that nobody else has access to. Something that's like sitting down is like not something that is like an issue or anything like that. Okay, and the poets got no longer over than 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Every second it goes over, you get deduct points by my lovely scorekeeper, Prophet. Say thanks, Prophet. And speaking of the crew here, give it up for DJ Patrese in the back. All right. Moving on along, audience. You have some rules as well. So everybody take out your phones and please put them on silent or vibrate or turn them off if you can for just a little bit. We're here to experience each other. This is live, and live means that I can see you. This isn't Netflix and chill. This ain't nothing like that. We're here to enjoy each other's company and listen to some great words. So please be present and be real. Alrighty, keeping it on going. Please, excuse me, words are hard today, but it's fun. Who's been this Starry Plough before? All right, they have some great food. They got some great beer and wine. No hard liquor today, but that's okay. One of the things that I was given for free today just to eat and sample were their black bean fritters. And it's like just some fried, rich, delicious goodness that like I think everyone should have. And just to say, and it's so fucking, okay, sorry. I'm gonna freak out if I keep talking about food. Okay, so let's keep it going. Alrighty, so please give love after I name all the poets who are gonna be reading this evening, after every single one. First, we got Chardonnay. And we got Patrick. And we got Reggie. And we got Risa, Mike Ting, Alex, Bambi, Angelica, and Sophia. Give it up for all the poets this evening. Woo. All right. But before we get to that wonderful list, we got to get your blood pumping. We got to do a couple things. We got to have our sacrifice, which is just a poet that gets all the judges, gives you a chance to calibrate your scores and kind of figure out how scoring is going to be for you. But they're not actually competing this evening. So please, everybody, give a big warm welcome to Dylan Thomas!
Beat me too. New shit, y'all. I heard of fresh notebook pages pounce onto my lap and they say, speak to me, like Spike Lee spoke to Jordan on the garden floor. So I grabbed my pen from the drawer because lately I've been longing to feel so much more than this. Perfectly stereotypical broken ass heart, guarded fiercely by a bouquet of my bad choices. I'm not even sure exactly when it happened. The shatter was slow, but exquisitely deep in each cut. These memories cut me a line of my desires and vehemently remind me of my vices. Ask me if I got the will not to take the plate. But they know 7 times out of 8 I'll take that bait as long as it's laid out there in front of me, and there you are. Shit. You raise heartbeats and respirations like jumping jacks in gym class. A beautiful representation of everything I wished, I hoped for, and there you are. We're mixing coping mechanisms with one-night stands that you wished would be wedding bands, but they fall off on Thursday, and we're always left thirsty for more. Why am I so uncomfortable with myself, never comfortable by myself? I want to want you, but I need to speak this past back onto the shelf. I try to tell you that I beat irregular, both literally and metaphorically. My mental tide isn't steady like the sea, but I like to go there. Sit and wonder with each shore crash if there were ever any love stories that really came true. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. When the Atlantic Ocean opens its mouth, how many daydreams can it swallow? There are locks tattooed with love notes fastened like a promise to the East Coast. The Pacific closed its eyes and tucked me into its horizon, so why can't this past stay ghost? When it all falls down, let these walls break, shake, and shatter until all that's left is what matters. And there you are, like the first line I ever wrote. There's always that moment when you're falling that you float. I want this moment to feel just like flying, because we've endured so many fucking moments that feel just like dying. What I'm trying to say is I want to learn how to fall in love again, and I guess I'll start with this daydream of you.
Give it up for Dylan Collins, not Thomas, Collins. All right. Judges, may I please see your scores? And once you have them written up and once I read them out, please keep holding it up so that no one knows whose scores is which. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, keep them up, please. Thank you so much. Starting from a low, we got a 7.4. Let him know. And then it goes up to an 8.1, an 8.7, an 8.9, and a 9. But give it up for the poet, not the scores! Excellent. Moving on. On deck, we got Patrick, but come up to the stage right now. Please give a warm welcome to our first poet of the slam. So give him all your energy to Chardonnay!
So the other day, a white person with dreads came up to me and had me fucked up. You take up too much space to take up space for me too. You write about brutality you don't experience as if your whiteness is erased by your queerness, as if your queerness could erase your privilege. It's not an accurate narrative if you leave out your place in the pyramid as the oppressor. You don't get to speak on my oppression from any angle but the aggressor. Your revolution is colonizing my tongue with a rainbow flag and using it to speak on whiteness without indicting yourself when all of y'all are guilty. I like my races in plain sight though, and your hair may as well be a Nazi flag you can't see. Call it colorblindness or the erasure of Black heritage, or manifesting something interesting about yourself because y'all love taking Black culture while talking over Black people. If you was a real ally, you'd show up to protest looking like them clean-cut white folks who the police don't get caught on. You'd be on the front lines when they come with the tear gas and the rubber bullets and the tanks. You'd take the first hit so that my Black ass wouldn't have to for a change. Or, at the very least, you offer to pay me to educate you instead of walking up to me like you deserve my words, my knowledge, or my presence. I get paid to teach, and I don't work for free, especially for white people. But that's just like y'all. You demand Black time and Black existence, simultaneously upholding systemic racism while also denying you play a part just because you have matted hair you call dreads and write about trauma you can't experience. Go fucking figure. Y'all always want to be a nigga until it comes time to be a nigga. Then you'd probably just end up like your hair, damaged beyond recognition because you lack the strength or the depth it requires to embody anything black.
Give it up for Chardonnay! Judges, let me get them scores, please. It's very rare that I have to bring the mic stand down. I'm used to this tall life, you know? It's good. It feels nice. Is that how all you short people feel? Anyway, moving on. Got 3 scores. Waiting on 4 and 5. Alrighty. Starting from below, let them know we got an 8.6. Then it goes up to a 9.2. Then it goes to a 9.3, 9.5, and 9.7. Give it up for the poet! Excellent. Let's keep this thing rolling. On deck, we got Reggie, but coming up to the stage, please keep the applause going for Patrick!
Whatever it is, I have to let it soak. Let it melt across my eyes. Sweat drips into the corners. There's this burn that's hovering and thumping and churning and sweltering. I see Titanics lost in what is never seen. And I'm reaching my hands into the water, trying to keep my family on this boat afloat, but too many bodies are slipping through my fingers. This ocean becomes my own personal kiddie pool of grief. I'm surrounded by thrashing alligators with aching teeth. Another phone call weighs heavy on my voicemail. It's pulling me into the depths that I forget I am big enough to swallow every shipwreck, such as the most recent conversation between my mom and me, when she unfolded this story about breast cancer that she didn't know how to tell me about, this glacier we are headed for. My Aunt Jane has been sinking into the liquid in her lungs for a month now. This is when the Leviathan wins, when the serpentine spiderweb of carcinogens turns inward and the body has nothing left but to surrender to its own liquid, a last relinquish, watery grave that all life arose from, bleeds from each of her tissues. My uncle Seamus has been living with AIDS since the 1980s. A few weeks after the phone call that pulled my mom and I into the whirlpool that's always a diagnosis away, Seamus was swirled into a story of rectal cancer. 3 is not a magic number. My cousin Keith was told his prostate is an anchor pulling his water into a submerged world of tumor. 4 of my family members were diagnosed with cancer in 4 months, and I can hold all sinking ships. Floats in any tide. I reach my hands into the water to pull these people above inevitable gravity, and I'm just trying to hold myself together with open palms to catch what might be our last shared words. A droplet of a waterfall that I am praying will pool in my hands long enough to create a memory. I'm clutching for any life jacket to see them through this, and I'm drowning in confusion where all anchors have become tombstones. 3 years after this, all but one of my family members have emerged. 3 years later, I wonder if this is going to happen again, if the universe is going to turn a cruel eye towards my family, if tragedy is chemotherapy eradicating our weakness. I will never forget reaching a tattered gray glove over my Aunt Jane's trembling body. Her hands wavered in the air, swatting and clutching from my fingers. She wrapped the last anchor of her body around me. Her veins were the only thing left. Her breath was the most sacred text I will ever read, with a heart swimming for shore where my family awaits to remind me that death is just another journey into the depths.
Give it up for Patrick! Judges! Let me get them scores, please. Keep this thing rolling. Oh, I love this song. All right, we have 1 score. Who likes Warheads? The sour candy? Alrighty, then you like the sour beer, the zombie luau from Bear Bottle? This is what I drink every time I'm here nowadays. It's so fucking good, and I'm fucking mean it. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Need one last score, and then we're all set. 1, 2. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't see you. All right, sorry from below. Let them know we got a 7. That's how they feel. And then we moving up into 8.7, and then not one but two 8.9s, and then finally a 9.1. Give it up for the poet, though. All right. In the hole, we got Mike Ching. On deck, we got Risa. But give it up for right now for Reggie.
A poem in which every usage of the word black is redacted. Redacted is an unsavory word. I know this because definitions for redacted include the darkest color, the absence of all light, deeply stained with dirt, evil, and the opposite of white. So by definition, redacted people must also be an unsavory group. And if redacted is the opposite of white, then it also must be the opposite of innocent. And redacted boy must always be considered guilty until proven dead, until redacted boy becomes absent of all life. And still, white folks don't seem to understand why the redacted don't advocate for all people. Don't understand that some people never have to worry about their humanity being ripped away, and redacted boy knows erasure well, knows how to present his redacted skin in a way that makes white people feel comfortable. Redacted boy knows that even white comfort can mean redacted danger depending on how careful he is. Another redacted boy is shot dead by white cops, and redacted people carry a riot on redacted tongues until redacted freedom becomes something other than a redacted dream. The redacted hope of every redacted child buried by redacted mother too soon. Redacted boy complains and is told to pull himself up by redacted bootstraps until he forgets where he comes from. Redacted boy tries to call himself anything but redacted now, and his name is ripped from his throat. A redacted hallelujah, a redacted battle cry. A dream deferred becomes a redacted future, which leads to a redacted rage, which fuels a redacted movement. And a redacted mother's cries don't fall easy on white ears, so it also becomes redacted grief, a redacted funeral, with a redacted preacher praying over a redacted body to an equally redacted God. We cover ourselves in redacted clothing to mourn. And look how exposed the redacted body becomes in the most vulnerable of moments. How we pour ourselves out a redacted river, and white America swims in all of our blood. A redacted boy knows this, so he softens himself, or tries to become the darkest night so at least all the other stars can shine a little brighter. Redacted boys hold galaxies between their palms. When they die, a supernova into redacted holes devouring all the light. Redacted boy knows this and does everything he needs to do to survive, and still, he will die a redacted death. Redacted boy knows this too and keeps writing redacted stories, hopes that one day they will stop being considered redacted and just be considered good. Just like the redacted boy, so full of light despite being told he was always empty of it. Redacted boy knows this, so he keeps on living, keeps loving, keeps smiling with all his teeth, not redacted, but anchored bone, pearly white and shining, the only thing about him considered innocent enough not to remove.
Give it up for Reggie! Judges, let me get them scores. All right, one score, agreed. Keep it moving. All right, looking pretty cool. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is coming any second. There we go. All right, so starting from below, we got a 9.2. Then it goes up to a 9.3, a 9.8, and not one, but 2 10s. That's what we like to see. But just so you know, these scores mean absolutely nothing and have no value. But we like to act like it does. All right, keeping it going. In the hole, we have Alex. Coming on deck, we got Mike Ting. But coming up to the stage right now, please give it up for Risa.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to apologize before I even started my poem. Oh my gosh. It just kind of slips out sometimes, you know? I'm going to start the poem now. Sorry, it's probably weird to apologize 5 million times before starting my poem, but I just get so used to over-apologizing sometimes, you know? Like, I don't know if it's neglect or patriarchy or my abuser. You know the boy with the eyes, that one shade of blue that I never want to see again? Fuck. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I went so deep so fast. I'm so sorry. You know, like, my tears only fall behind closed doors usually. But don't worry. I've just gotten really good at pretending things don't hurt me. You know? Mountain river running body. Numbness. Fuck. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. That was so stereotypical poet of me. Making a water metaphor? Oh my god. Like... But I thought of one more. My apologies. They're like raindrops falling on a land I am so sure is dry. And then when everyone's like, Risa, it's okay. You don't have to keep apologizing. I'm like, I know it's a waste of time, and aren't we all running out of time? I mean, it's only a matter of time before we all get to be goth as fuck and sleep in a coffin forever, so why be a people pleaser, right? Like, it feels like each person I have been is another aged layer of paint over my skin. Itchy to me, confusing, disgusting to those around me. Each person I have become for other people is another color I slowly stop loving over time. It peels away in little bits, taking with it pieces of myself until I am a patchy being, a patchwork of everyone I have ever met. Losing myself is so painful, and apologizing is the way I tell people that under my skin, there is only distrust. Apologizing is the stick I use to poke people away, and I would stop apologizing. But love, there is a ghost behind your eyes. There is no way to explain why I am scared without dredging up the haunting. There is a memory in how you hold my hand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Give it a Risa judges. Let me get them scores. Waiting, chilling. How you doing? You? How are you doing? Good? Good? Yeah, I didn't hear you. Let's keep it going. 1, 2, 3 scores. I need 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Thank you very much. Starting from below, let them know we got an 8.2. That's just their opinion. Then it goes up to a 9.0, a 9.2, and not 1 but 2 9.4s. Give it up for the poet, though! Woo! The point is not the point. The point is not the poetry. The point is the people and their stories and their experiences. So thank you. All right, keeping it going. In the hole, we got Bambi. On deck, we got Alex. But come up to the stage right now. Please give it up for Mike D!
In the early 2000s, the phenomenon known as escape the room gained popularity. Trapped, players must solve riddles, puzzles, and other challenges to earn their freedom. Ironically, when the first escape rooms were created, anxious students and overworked professionals were the ones flocking to this new game, taking joy in a prison they knew wasn't real. Yet, when the panic grew too great and the doors refused to open, some players began tearing down the walls, the game, it seemed, too close to reality itself. I have never been a fan of escape rooms because I've never loved a door I could not open. Question: have you ever tried to solve your way out of your own mind? I have what is known as a panic disorder. Without warning, any room can become an escape room. How did I get here? Why can't I find an exit? To survive a panic attack is to breathe underwater. Let the room fill with the ocean as you seek a key, locate a trigger, ask yourself the right questions, but be careful. Not everything in here is a clue. When's the last time your friends reached out to you? Why can't you look people in the eye? What happens to all those things we were supposed to be? Remember, your mind doesn't play fair. It plays games. Tell yourself that this is just temporary. Someone is coming to open the door if you just wait, but you don't believe that. Because you don't deserve to be rescued. You belong here with me, and I'll prove it. Riddle: what kind of creature has a beating heart, a rib cage, but no spine? Answer: me. Correct. Riddle: what kind of monster has a silver tongue, a yellow belly, and two faces? Answer: I do. Correct. Puzzle: find the missing piece in your life that will fill all of this empty. Puzzle: jigsaw your smile until someone believes it. Puzzle: just fit in, times up. The average panic attack lasts approximately 20 minutes, but self-hate lasts a lifetime. They say life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. So I guess I lived once this week, twice last month. I live on BART. I live on airplanes. I live in the rooms I build for myself. Once I lived so hard I almost died, my body trembling as I threw up all of my non-life. I've learned that when you are your own warden, negotiating a prisoner's release takes patience, takes resilience, takes everything. I'm learning that the difference between an escape room and a panic attack is that one you can solve, the other you just survive. Just survive. Breathe. Wait for you. You're coming. I promise. This isn't real. This is just life, and you make it out of this alive. I think the reason we love escape rooms is that no matter how hard it gets, it's just a game. Nobody can keep you here besides you. But maybe that's not such a good thing after all.
Give it up for Mike Ting! Judges, let me get them scores. How's everyone feeling tonight? I said, how you feeling? That was pretty whack. I'm not gonna lie. I expect better. We did better at the beginning of the show. So I have very high expectations because you guys did great. And now we're a little tired. Too many drinks. Who knows? Not enough drinks. Tip your bartender. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting from the low, we got a 9.1, a 9.1, a 9.3, and a 9.6, and a 10. Woo, give it up for the poet. All right. We're almost there. Only 4 more poets to go. So in the hole, we have Angelica. On deck, we got Bambi. But please give all your love right now to Alex.
Basically, we learn to act white to survive. Like, I talk differently around my brown friends than my white ones. My white friends also talk different around their brown friends. The difference is that's a luxury code switch to be cool. And brown people switch to white language is a survival necessary assimilation to be accepted within the broader institutions of this society. We learn to act white because whiteness is seen as professional, while our cultures are called ghetto by the descendants of those who pushed us in the ghettos and are happy to keep us there when we don't perform that switch for them. Like my grandparents being beat at school for speaking Spanish, growing up teaching their own kids not to speak Spanish at all. Code switch is our existence as it becomes a performance for the colonizers, like trying to conjure compassion from my dad for immigrants, and he says, I'm not Mexican, I'm American. Switch. Well, Dad, I'm shook. You code switched so hard, I guess you changed our fucking DNA, and I am mad at him, but what else can he really say? Our family has been exploited in a generations-long cultural genocide that's required to make it here. From back-breaking labor in the fields for a nation that didn't want us to stay past picking season, to turning our backs on each other once we finally got past the gates, like 25% of Latino voters supporting Trump. Switch, clinging so fucking steadfast to a nationalism that does not cling back, a nationalism that hunts and kidnaps our people to send them back to another part of our own fucking land. Code switch is some tricky shit. Sometimes it straight up takes our people, and so it is safer to identify with European colonizers of this land than with each other, like whole nations and their people being named Hispanic, like dog tags of our colonizers still hung too tightly around our necks. Fuck being called Hispanic. You know, before the Europeans came to save us, steal our resources, execute us in mass, and destroy our land, my people had our own rituals and foods and whole towns and leaders that fucking looked like us, and so many other things I will never truly know. And also, LA was Mexico, but Code Switch steals a city, steals a country, and then steals your whole damn culture to sell it back to you, like the white lady with dreads at the gym teaching people how to dance to my culture's music with no rhythm, watering it down and making money off of it. More, Code Switch is a whole continent being raped into Christianity. It is a white Jesus splayed across the crucifix statue, facing out towards a fully brown congregation. Code Switch on some tricky shit says don't question it, but take the subconscious message. It's that white is just the standard. It is God. Code Switch is losing our heritage, and generations later, breaking our backs, just trying to reach back, to grasp it, to grab it. So fuck a code switch for a colonizer audience. Best to trade it in for a mouth weaponized on speaking, on screaming until we are heard, because we are still here and we have always belonged here.
Give it up for Alex! Hell yeah! Let me get them scores, judges. Let's keep this a-rolling. We have a few more poets left in the first round, and then we have our lovely feature. And while we're waiting, please make sure you support this venue. They've housed us since 1998. We are the longest running slam on the West Coast, and we'd like to continue to be with the help of this lovely venue. So please support them. We got 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, and 5 scores. Starting from below, we got a 9.2. Then it goes up to a 9.5. A 9.5, a 9.8, and a 10! All right. Let's keep this thing a-rolling. Via, on deck we have Angelica. But come up to the stage right now, please give it up for Bambi!
How am I doing this? Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Fuck yeah. Oh, man. Oh. All right, so this is new shit based on old shit. So it's a contrapuntal, which is 2 poems that are put together. Yeah. When I say I will always love you, I mean, I've been listening to the playlist you made me on repeat for the last year. I mean, Frank Ocean just doesn't sound the same. I mean, I hear your name in every lyric, and that does not make me cry. But crack a smile, but carry on. When I say I will always love you, I mean you are the sun, I'm the flower, you are the reason I'm always growing, constantly trying to reach something so far away, and you would kill me if not for water. When I say I will always love you, I mean I will always wish our hugs were a second longer. I mean you are the brightest thing in every room. I mean I've held onto every word you've ever said. I mean I'm ready when you are. Fuck your girlfriend. They're very nice, and I'm sure they love you a lot. Shit, I like them too, but can we both hold you a little bit? Can we trade touch, make their hands, mine, yours, theirs, mine, yours. What I'm trying to say is we'd be a cute as fuck throuple. See, I've been growing. I fuck so much better now. I can support you like I never thought I would, and my hands no longer shake when I think about kissing you. I'm not scared anymore. My mom can finally know why you used to sleep over so much. We can be a revolution, and when people stare, I will not pull away. And I promise to make a mini sonnets and a mini odes and contrapuntals and haikus and free verse poems and label them all your name. When I say I will always love you, I mean fuck your girlfriend. I'm sure they love you a lot, but I've been listening to the playlist you made me on repeat for the last year. Make their hands mine. To be frank, I fuck so much better now, and that does make me crack a smile. When I say I will always love you, I mean you are the reason I'm not scared anymore. I mean we can be a flower, constantly growing. You are the sun, I am the water. I mean I will not pull away. I promise to label a revolution with every word you've ever said, and if love is indeed letting go, making what once was a ghost of a great thing, haunt me then. I'm ready when you are.
Give it up for Bambi! All right. Judges, you know what I'm going to ask you. Let me see them scores. Yeah. As host, I must remain unbiased. Host must remain unbiased. But if I don't see a fucking 10. All right. Starting from the low. We got an 8.7. It's all right. It's opinions. We're allowed to have them. Moving on up, we got a 9.5. Then it goes to a 9.6, a 9.8, and a 10. But give it up for the poet, not the points. All right. Only 2 poets left in our first round. How we feeling? Yeah, we're still a little lackluster when I'm the call and response, but we'll work on it. We'll get there by the end of the show. All right, on deck. Well, actually, in the hole, we have our lovely feature, Jada Imani. On, hell yeah. There you go. But on deck, we have Sophia. But come over to the stage right now. Please give a warm welcome to Angelica.
A poem for straight men who fetishize queer women. I am a girl who kisses girls, which is to say I'm queer if you're feeling like reclaiming the word, which I am. A little while ago, I was walking down the street holding my date's hand. She had hair flowing past her shoulders, and she stood at an impressive 5'2". And she was holding my hand, and she kissed my cheek, and I thought I could live in this moment forever. And then a man walking down the street shouted at us, "Hey, are you 2 lesbians?" Mind you, it was well past midnight. Mind you, I was scared. Mind you, he was taller than me. Nevertheless, I did not want to answer his question. I did not know what the right answer to his question was. I did not know what the answer was that would keep us safe. I wanted to say to him, I do not owe you this. I do not have to explain my life to you, even though you seem like the kind of person who is used to getting what they want. Men are always reminding me that my body does not belong to me. When I'm walking down the street, Phil's coffee in hand, Fleetwood Mac in my ears, feeling good, and a man just has to tell me how good I look today, to remind me that I am always being watched. Or when you're dancing in a club with a group of girls and the men do that thing where they walk up behind you, inching slowly closer and closer until you're dancing on them and you don't even realize. Or they grab you, they don't ask, they don't think twice. Once, a girl kissed me on a dance floor, and I could feel the men around me watching me with their hungry, eager eyes. They looked at me like I was a fantasy come to life. It made me feel dirty. It made me feel like I was nothing more than a porn search term, like I was nothing more than pleasure for them. The way they look at me makes me want to never kiss a girl again in public. But I can't. I won't. Because I have given so many years to denial. I have given so many years to the closet. I will not give any more to fear.
Give it for Angelica! Judges! Let me get them scores so we can keep it a-rolling, so we can get home before midnight tonight. Doesn't that sound good? Well, it'll probably be before 11, honestly, like if the way we're going, keeping it going. All right. So now while I'm waiting for those scores, there is a little bit of business. We all know what this is. It's a tip jar. I'm pandering for money. It's something we need to keep running the show and to do many other things like have field trips come here and to send the team to places. So if you have like a few dollars, a lot of dollars, $1 million, whatever you can, just put it in there. It's going to pass this way and it's going to come all the way around like a snake. All right. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, starting from the low, let them know we got an 8.9. Then it goes up to a 9.4. A 9.4, and 2 9.8s. Give it up for the poet! Woo! In the hole, we have a 5-minute break. On deck, we have our feature. But give it up for our last poet of this evening with all your love, Sophia!
New shit. In Iran, they say a person who is good-natured has salt. But lately, I keep dreaming of water. When I was 7, I turned my back on the ocean, and the rocks made of me a tumbling, and my coughs sounded only of seaweed. When I was 7, the ocean spat me back out again. In Iran, they say a person who is good-natured has salt, as if to claim the best of us buoy our own selves. A year after those 2 boys from the high school drowned, his hands were around my neck. I knew him no better than the bottom of my glass, just sediment. His hands were around my neck, and all I heard above me were bubbles. He pulled me in as strong as the tide could yank back a spine, but what are bones but driftwood, really? And isn't there some line to be made about femininity and the moon and the water and what it means to be pulled under? How he held my neck and made of me a tidal wave, made of my stomach a tumbling and dared me to swallow him up. But what am I but rib? What am I but edges of rocky things? By the time he let me go, I had forgotten how to breathe. I still sometimes catch drowning at the back of my throat. Lately, I'm not drinking much. To have longing is to drink a glass and spit back only salt. Lately, I keep dreaming of the bottom feeders. The only difference between falling and sinking is which light draws you in. The only difference between falling and sinking is the memory of dirt beneath your fingernails. The only difference between falling and sinking is which sediment claims proximity first. Some days, I am only as good as the heartbeat against his hands. Some days I am rocky teeth. Some days I am the current. Some days I am only the swallowing. Lately I keep dreaming of rainfall and soaking myself until I can convert all my memories back to oxygen. I am floating inside myself and coming up devoid of air. I dream I can turn my back on the ocean. I dream I can return to the surface.
Give it up for Sophia! Judges! Let me get them scores. And while we wait, let me let you know, we have this thing called Patreon. A Patreon, what's that, you might ask? That is a tax-deductible monthly subscription service that you can contribute to, which helps us grow. There's certain different tiers. There's a couple dollars a month. There's $8. It goes up and up and up to different tiers. I know for a fact if you get the $8 tier, you can sponsor a poet to come in weekly for free. So if a poet wants to come in here but doesn't necessarily have the money to, and you have a little bit of disposable income, even if it's just a few extra dollars a month, you can help some people pursue the arts in ways that are really meaningful. So thank you guys for doing that. So judges, let me get them scores, please. All righty, start from below. Let them know we have an 8.7. An 8.7. An 8.9. A 9.2. And a 9.4. But give it up for the poet! Woo. All right. On deck, we have our break. But right now, we have our feature, Jada Imani. I don't know her as well as I would like to know her, so I'm just going to read the bio that she sent us here on the Facebooks. So, Jada Imani is a 21-year-old MC from the Bay Area by way of East St. Louis. Jada Imani is a refreshing leader in and contributor to hip-hop culture. Her gritty lyricism is informed by Midwestern roots where she grew up on the illest underground hip-hop pillars. Yet her wavy, ethereal vibe is influenced by her residence, the West Coast, as well as her ear for euphoric soundscapes. Jada is everywhere. She's rocked at most local venues, including the Greek Theater, New Parish, Oakland Museum, Brick and Mortar, Spirit House, Smart Bomb, etc. She's curated over 200 local Bay Area music shows and has performed around the country and the world that she travels. So please, everyone, give a big warm welcome to Jada Imani!
Hello, beautiful people. How are we feeling? Yo, we are alive right now, and we will never have this moment again. Never, ever, ever, ever have this moment again. So I just want to give thanks for you all for being here for this right now as we co-create this moment. Who knows what's going to happen next? We don't. But we're here, we're present, and that's a really special thing. My great grand passed away on Saturday. I'm leaving to Illinois tomorrow to grieve with my crazy ass family back home. And I wrote a poem maybe last year about my other grandma, who's my best friend. So shout out to grandmas, okay? Shout out to grandmas. And I'll start there. So let me go get that. Go, Granny. Go, Granny. All right. Hello? Is this my Jada? Oh, how are you, baby? Oh, well, child. Old and decrepit. These knees are bad. They hold 300 pounds plus this bag. I have to lose another 30 pounds, Jada, there's no question. Your grandma's working very hard to be healthy. When I got here, I was sick for 5 months. I don't want to leave you guys yet. I want to be here to see you guys grow up, to have a family and career and just life, you know what I mean? Like, you ever have those serious talks with yourself? Like, what are you doing? You got to get what you want out of life, and maybe you can't get that here. East St. Louis, Illinois, Missouri, Midwest, U.S. And if you ain't right, wrong people are going to keep coming your way. And sometimes when you are right, wrong people come to tempt you, and that ain't right either. As young people, there's so much there to tempt you, and you can't give in, because sometimes you'll never be able to straighten out. Sometimes it can mean death. And you can't depend on other people. When you grow up poor, you can't not see inequity. I met a lady. She said she never met a black person all the time she was growing up. There was no black people in the town she lived in. They didn't have any contact with them in school, church, all of the places people normally go. I think she was a full-grown woman before she met a black person. And sometimes, right before you get that good blessing, all hell breaks loose. I don't know why it works like that. Swear to God, I don't. I don't blame you for not wanting to live in an extreme environment. Some people can stay and fight, but I think you're going to fight in your own way. And I think you'll do it with love. It's tedious. It's tiring. You get tired of doing the right thing all the time. At least I do. God always has his reasons. Always in a society are people that is opposites. Thankfully, I've run into the right people. Yeah, they crazy. They can't help they crazy. But I don't mind crazy people as long as they're not violent. I feel like if they knew my family, they wouldn't want to have anything to do with me. But people can't change who they are. Homeland Security came to my house and interrogated me for 2 hours. They sent my closest friends a questionnaire about me. I could tell that they did the research on me by the questions they asked. Kansas is kind of backwards. You know what I mean? Like, they're into guns and stuff like that. I don't like that. But I think this is where I'm supposed to be right now, and I have to accept that. Hey, I just want to say, like, y'all are a strong ass community, like for real. Like the circuit, the poetry circuit is so real. From Starry Plough to Rich Oak to Root Slam, like I see y'all really hold it down for each other, and it's just a beautiful thing. And when anybody comes up in here, it's like ultimate gas. It's like, bruh, like woo. So yeah, just thank y'all for being such a dope community, and I'm really honored to be here with y'all. Thank you. All right. So next, okay. I am black, SpongeBob yellow, gap teeth, post braces, laughter, yearning for itself, solitude, yearning for itself. During an equinox, I will be turquoise for when the sun skinny dips into the blue of winter. I will be warrior through sun salutation. I will be the day the world ends, both emerging from and clinging to history of life in my skin. I am heart. I will be love. Again, the day the world ends, there will be another surge of the scramble for Africa, and the buried blacker berries emerge from the ground to say back up as snowflakes scurry. By then, I will be warrior through sun salutation. I was the first snowflake to dissolve into dirt, to turn into mud. I was molded against my will. I am a living reparation. That's that. Thanks. Okay. All right. I got some new shit. Y'all say short shit? Short? Okay. Pequeño. Or something like that. Ratchet is innovation. Ratchet has less than you but does the most with it. Ratchet does the most. Ratchet make do. Ratchet is clever. Ratchet is Erica's $7 dress. Ratchet is fashion yet to be discovered and deemed high. Ratchet has a sister named Ghetto Fabulous. Ratchet is on her way, running late because her daily rituals requires it. When she arrives, you'll know. Bet. Thanks. And then this one is called Ghetto Fabulous. Yeah. Okay. Hey, good shit. Good shit. Express. This is for those of us who are ghetto fabulous. I'm talking ghetto gourmet though. Sweet potato bacon soul. Brush your teeth with baking soda. Then mix it up with vinegar and go scrub the floor. On hands and knees just like Auntie Kathy. Cause if it ain't squeaking, she ain't happy. Okay? This is for those rocking fresh cornrows hooked up for the low by Monique who lives down the street and you babysit her baby Demarion in exchange for the free. For those who barter and bargain, who at the flea market with black soap and dollar clothing be the main target. Who mama only go to Trader Joe's for $2 chuck. That's wine to dine with artichoke tapenade from grocery outlet. For my phenomenally frugal kind who take the little space and turn it into a spa. At-home facials, made them with Quaker oats and honey, coffee grind exfoliating while the bath water's running. But first to get dibs on it were your two cousins. But when they done, you got the towel, shower cap, music on your phone, and the amp in the form of a plastic bowl. Might light an incense for the vibes while you soak needed more hot water so it's boiling on the stove. Right next to that pan holding the old potato frying oil. Some call it recycling and saving the planet. We call it survival. And our family walks out the front door, and at left, spot weave tracks remnants of a fight right before, and at right, a do-rag smoking a black amount next to a hoopty, with all three functional doors open, blasting Gator boots with the pimped out Gucci suits. With them Gucci suits, ain't got no job, but I'm still fly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, whose parents made her a remix of that song, Jada Boo with the pimped out Gucci, who never could afford Gucci but who never needed to, got priced out of trends so stand out and make it cool, took Ghetto's name out the dirt and cleansed it and wore it just like new, with a skin full of thickness and a mind full of inventions and a house full of traditions. This is Ghetto fabulousness. Yee. Thanks. Okay, so I'm really not a poet, y'all. I'll be rapping. So, all right, so let's get into this rap shit. Know what you want, you gon' get it. That's it. But not knowing what you love leaves you feeling conflicted. What's been pulling me away? Relationships and simping. Scratching out the newest page, paper thin flipping. Out one moment, I got a clear vision, real winning. Next moment, I doubt my real feelings. Who is it holding you back? Maybe it's a doom pass. Maybe it's the wood packs hanging by a loose thread. Oh man, am I chosen or am I choosing? Matter of fact, am I posing or is it proving that I do this? Like really grip the microphone with two hands. Learn to trust my gut before my mind becomes a nuisance. I'm better out this gutter, but the lover's undercover though. Why does success make another feel uncomfortable? Why do we stress when we wonder what becomes of though? May visit again, but for now I'm heading up and now. Like, is what I'm here to do. Take the soot out the black and I turn it to blue. Take the blue out the sad and I turn it to use. Take the use of the sad and I turn in. Yeah. And I turn in. Yeah. And we toss and we turn it. Yeah, and we turn in, yup, and we turn in too, right? So, and I think I gotta lead, but this nervousness, it tries to get a hold of me. I'll just write it down because it really bothers me. The way my mind contorts the shit and poisons what I see. A fire burning places me a little more at ease. OCD, I keep forgetting how to breathe. Want to grow something, so I'm spitting out these seeds. Earth is still pure even through toxicity. A fracking in nuclear weapons and hatred and hacking at each other's limbs, and the towers collapsing remains as the stem connecting us back to the source and begins again. There is a such thing as redemptive spins. It is 180 on the floor, my mental gym. Keep pacing, pedal forward, amen, amen. Keep sage and water floor, that cleanse I cleanse. Like, it's what I'm here to do. Take the soot out the black and I turn it to blue. Take the blue out the sad and I turn it to use. Take the use of the sad and I turn in. Yo, that's a big difference between. I should probably stick with the rap shit. I'll do that. So, thank you, love. You're amazing. Yo, shout out to Bambi. Shout out, homie. Okay. I've been surprised, ain't been the same since I opened my eyes. Freedom this way, there be no compromise. I put my faith in the most of the high. I got a lot to learn. Blocks from the past is about to burn. Send my old self like I got 2 urns. Lately my shell been a lot thinner. I still holding the heavy, holding my head up. I'm focused, I'm steady. Putting in work, let them know that I'm ready. You take your turn, it's your moment, you get it. Everybody wanna go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Hoarding all these things, running from your life, yeah. Everybody wanna go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Hoarding all these things, yeah. Running from your life. It's an earthquake where we serve place. Truth like water. People thirsty. They done stood up. What you talking about? Like them pigs tucked. Ain't no cop out. Chile is deep. Sudan is deep. In Nicaragua, they mobbing the streets. Protesting students been shot in the streets. Over in Gaza, they bombing your sheets. If they in this place, that's where all of us be. Ain't no escaping the times that we see. Them is my siblings, so I'm gonna keep. It's been predicted, so all this repeat. To Winston, listening to our history. It is an indifferent philosophy. Everybody wanna go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Hoarding all these things, yeah, running from your life. Everybody wanna go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Hoarding all these things, yeah, running. Yeah. Thanks. I'm gonna end it off with this one last piece. Yeah. So, I was being a sad girl one night, and you know, when you stay up to like 3 a.m. and just like kind of spiral into your emotions. Yeah. And I was kind of being productive. That's the reason why I was up that late, and I was on my laptop and I was researching Nipsey Hussle and listening to him speak and like all the wisdom that he held. And I was also looking at his relationship with Lauren London and like looking at their work and stuff like that. And I woke up and had these thoughts, and I just put them on my voice recorder. So I was like talking like this because I just woke up in the morning and I was really in my feelings. But I felt kind of like a little rebirth of some sort because of what I guess was germinating while I was sleeping. And I just wrote them down here verbatim. Thinking about believing, this is on the premise that literally everything, if you want to look at it scientifically, anatomically, or if you want to look at spiritually, everything is made of energy. We, our life, our relationships, our drama, our achievements, like everything is what we have constructed in our energetic field. And first it exists in our minds or in our energy field, and then it exists in the physical world. And sure, the physical world and other people's energies can sometimes get latched onto us and fuck our shit up if we're not strong enough. But at the end of the day, we carry it energetically first, and then it goes there. So, yeah, it comes off of that premise and whose energy is impacting you and how. Thinking about, as people are passing, what their energy does to us. So, for me, I've just been practicing getting the energy, like, well, in terms of understanding that, right? Getting that image right, getting that movie right. Because my life is literally a movie. I'm literally this character. I'm watching myself live this shit. So it's like, okay, let me write this shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. So in creating new dreams, I can call on ancestors who have completed their journey here as I formulate the vision for my own. The whole concept of ancestors that we talk about, especially spiritual Black folks and POC organizing spaces and movements for liberation and social justice, the whole concept around ancestors can be confusing. What's the pull to it? One thing I think is that there are people, when they pass away, like Nipsey Hussle, for instance, whose words live on, whose spirit we still feel in our minds and hearts. So this is our ancestor. And because he lingers this way, he is still alive, really, and becomes like an angel. His spirit is one that is around us, accessible to us, and we can call on his spirit to guide us through our own life. The essence of Nipsey Hussle is what I learned from him and his relationship with Lauren London is the type of man that I deserve in my life. I was really in my feelings. I started crying at this part. For instance, I can put that out there, and his spirit and his essence can weave itself into my dreams and visions for my future and what type of partners are by my side there. And I haven't gotten to the business part yet and how his essence can help me there. I call on the spirit of Malcolm X when I need bravery, or Harriet Tubman when I'm trying to be brave with my visions for the future. Their spirit can be an angel and a guide. Malcolm X is easier for me because I read his autobiography, got close with his words, being easier to invoke. It took me a while to even wrap my head around this concept of how it relates to me personally. Amber was the one who really convinced me that angels are really real. So she planted this seed and it bloomed into this understanding. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I live down the street, so it's great to be here. All right, bye.
Give it up one more time for Jada and Imani! Woo! It was wonderful. Thank you so much for your work.
Hey y'all, I have I don't know if y'all like vintage collectible items, but I have some cassette tapes of my project and also some prints. Yeah.
Support local artists. Hell yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break so you can recalibrate, get yourself a drink, get yourself a little food. The kitchen is still open for another, 20 minutes. So if you're feeling peckish, go in there. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll be right back with the second round. take your seats or finish buying your food or your drink, and we're going to get this show a-rolling. All right. So I want to hear some noise after every poet in the second round here. We only take the top 5 poets, and the top 2 poets will be competing in not next week's semifinals, but the week after that for a chance to be on the Berkeley Slam poetry team. All righty. So in this order, it will go Angelica, Bambi, Alex, Mike Ting, and Reggie. Give it up for all the poets this evening. But first, we need another sacrifice. Someone to spill the blood. Say, spill the blood. Just get you recalibrated, get these judges ready again. So please, welcome to the stage, Fortino!
Trigger warning, suicidality, depression. Shout out to Squidward Tentacles, arguably the most underrated character in the Nickelodeon original hit SpongeBob SquarePants. My man's been holding it down since the day one as the grumpiest, frustrated, and underappreciated artist. And oh, what a typical millennial tragedy. Like, how many of us had our own hard work, hard creativity pay us below minimum wage, turn into a homunculus, a laughing stock, but still, Squidward tries, still practices clarinet, though everyone calls it a dying pet, still takes his ass to his job to deal with his perky coworker and his greedy ass boss. Capitalism has robbed Squidward. If we actually paid our artists, Squidward wouldn't be such a dick to SpongeBob. If the people of Bikini Body actually knew true artistry, Squidward wouldn't be the saltiest punk ass neighbor under the 7 seas. And still, I argue Squidward says, I'm ready more than SpongeBob, still finds a glimmer of motivation. I imagine days where all Squidward wants is more sleep. The rest of Bikini Bottom on cancel, no syndication. Like episodes don't go by unaired between the times his failures are a punching bag, delivered as a joke, where he secludes himself. Astringent tentacles he's been carrying for far too long. Squidward, I heard your suicide attempt was named a lost episode. I asked myself, if no one ever saw it, did it ever happen? Does anyone know what we carry depression if it isn't stated outwards from one survivor to another? Is there a point where we say enough? Where we stop deeming ourselves worthless? Or we stop pretending to be SpongeBob, holding the protagonist, or maybe seek help, allow ourselves to wallow in our Squidward like, stop asking Squidward to be more like SpongeBob. Squidward's feelings are valid. Squidward still wakes up every day and loves himself the way no one else can. Yes, more than SpongeBob can. It takes a seasick body to still stomach the water it's drowning itself in. To write the ink, there are still sweet victories we know in between. So shout out to these moments. Shout out to the clarinet that begs to be played. Shout out to the depression, to the water that attempts to drown us, but that we make our own currents for the days we choose to live, that we choose ourselves, even when no one else will. Shout out to Squidward and his depression under late stage capitalism, telling us that we can say no and live, and no and live, and say no and live. And one day he will say, I'm ready. But today, his I hate you is an attempt to muster an I love you he hasn't said to himself in a while. Is one we haven't said to ourselves. So thank you, Squidward. Thank you for staying alive.
Give it up for Fortino! Judges, let me get them scores, please. And as this was a sacrifice, I can be biased as fuck and say that was great! Alrighty. Judges, let me get them scores, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Starting from the low, we got an 8.0. Valid. It is a 10-point scale after all. And then it goes up to an 8.8. Then it goes up to a 9.3 and 2 9.6s. But give it up for the poet! Woo! All right. In the hole, we got Alex. On deck, we got Bambi. But please give it all up for Angelica!
My mom says, "How'd you end up so political?" when she is the one who used to cut my toenails when I was 5 years old and sarcastically joked that she had to turn them over to Bush as weapons of mass destruction. My dad says, "How'd you turn out so political?" when he is the one who plopped me in front of the TV in November 2004 when I was 7 years old to watch the presidential election results roll in. When it was clear that the Democratic nominee, John Kerry, would not win, I could see the disappointment on his face. 12 years later, I call him from my college dorm, November 8th, 2016. You already know what day that is. And he tells me, "You realize now that she's lost. It's over." Everyone wants to know how I turned out so damn radical. Well, maybe it's because whoever wins any election ever, I will wake up the next day, still brown, still queer, still a woman, still the daughter of an immigrant, still the granddaughter of a woman who does not speak the language of the country she was forced to flee to because of U.S. intervention. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because white people talk about politics like it's a sporting event they want to analyze. I am not watching the debates for fun. I am watching the debates because I want to live. I am not voting for girl power or whoever can deliver the sickest burn to Trump on Twitter. I am voting to survive. Maybe I am so political because white girls are selling abolished ICE t-shirts on Etsy to make a profit. And if you're not giving all that money to raíces in Texas, fuck off. And maybe I'm so angry because I'm not allowed to be political. Or maybe I'm so political because I'm so angry and this is the only way I'm allowed to channel it.
Give it up for the poet, Angelica! Woo! Judges! Let me get them scores. Scores, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, starting from below, we got a 7.7. Moving on, we have 8.9, 9.4, 9.7, and a 10. Woo! Give it up for the poet. As I said before, the point is not the points. The point is not the poetry. The point is the people and the stories they have. All right, keep it going. In the hole, we have Mai Ting. On deck, we have Alex. But please, give all your love to Bambi.
Oh, I love this mic. According to the Kinsey scale, I am predominantly homosexual and accidentally heterosexual. And boy, would it be so nice to think all my encounters with cis men were accidents. Simply a blimp in the system, a coincidence, miscalculation, a drunken night, a drunken kiss, a drunken fuck, a drunken year. I slipped on my insecurity and fell on his dick. How's that? How's that for a lapse of judgment? When I think of my male engagements, it's hard to not see them as traps. The beginning of the racial relationship starts with an open cage. They leave a trail of lost promises, false sense of security, a love that looks like last resort, and then slam the fucking cage door. Oops, my bad. I mistakenly believed nobody else could love me. I mistakenly believed what you were offering me was love. I mistakenly believed that if my mouth could conform to yours, the world might not leave my life empty. If I forced my body to tangle with yours, it would find a way to adapt. To learn to waltz when you kept stepping on my feet, to get used to the pain. I would love to believe all my encounters with men were accidents, either mine or his, simply a blimp in the system. I was accidentally attracted to him. I accidentally got into his car. I accidentally let him persuade me to take another puff. I accidentally couldn't move. He accidentally didn't notice. He accidentally didn't ask and accidentally didn't care. And I kept blaming myself for that first attraction. An accident is always your own fault, isn't it? According to the Kinsey scale, I am predominantly homosexual and accidentally heterosexual. I take this test and think it's stupid. Take this test and know it's illegitimate. Take this test and laugh with my friends. Take this test and start to see his face, hovering, blurred. Just an accident.
Give it up for Bambi! Woo! All right, judges, let me get them scores. Only a few more times when your judgments will matter. Almost there. Almost there, everybody. We're doing pretty good on time, actually. It's like just now 10, kitchen just closed, bars still open, still get a drink. All righty, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Starting from the low, let them know we got an 8.8. Then it goes up to a 9.1, a 9.6, a 9.8, and a 9.9. Give it up for the poet! Oh, wait, everyone write your scores. Or no, are we good? Scorekeepers, Soph and Prophet, are we good? 9.9. Okay. Speaking of 9.9, I'd like to know, what do they need to do to get that 0.1? Like, do they have to jump and dance and like do a whole thing, or like what? Like, I always wonder. Oh, I suppose. Speaking truth. All right. On deck, we have Mike Ting, but please give it up for Alex.
I've grown up a bit more and noticed this trend. Some femmes spend their whole lives hungry, denying small tastes of heaven for the fantasized landscape of one long-term goal: to be found sexy by men. Men who don't think to brush their tongues or wash their feet, and super respect when you split the meal in half, yet will never consider the disparity in emotional labor that their company requires. And we don't even question it, this unpaid therapist business for these motherfuckers who have the audacity to use a 3-in-1 shampoo, body wash, and conditioner while simultaneously holding the most ironic attraction standards that involved us, 1, being skinnier than them, and 2, grooming up here, painting on here, and 3, emptiness in here. Nah. Like, fuck going hungry just to be seen as fuckable so I can unofficially date a Logan for a month before realizing he doesn't believe in white privilege and I'm not that into him. It's a no from me. I want to be full and happy and comfortable dancing without wondering how fat I look. I don't want to waste my life wondering how fat I look, comparing my body and all that. Nah, I'm cool just like this. I'm cool fat just like this. And don't get it twisted. This isn't shade to any woman who stay fasting to maintain that status quo. I've only been chubby for like 5 years, and I remember how skinny offers its benefits, from broad societal acceptance to getting random drinks when dancing with friends. I know that media consumption and consumer pressure make a living off of our self-doubt, and I know there are whole ass companies making a profit by making us believe that there's a standard we will never meet, that you'll never truly be beautiful and thus wanted. But listen to me, chubby cheeks have more elasticity, girl, and bitch, I've been both fat and skinny, and beauty is when I eat mac and cheese and all I feel is joy. This is it. I just did it. This is beauty, and honestly, fat cheeks just mean fat ass claps. From a wide nose to a round face to thick ass hips, looking exactly how they're supposed to. I am what I am. Sure, colonization took our land, but it did not take this hunger, and I will not starve to look like the settlers or their magazines or their fucking gods. I know any fat phobic shit ain't really about our health either, and ain't no coincidence the societal pressure of thin, because I know the best tactics of control begin with deprivation. So this body and my desire to keep it thick, to keep it fed, isn't something to apologize for, and there is no part of me I want to lose. I want every piece.
Give it up for the poet, Alex! Judges! Let me get them scores, them arbitrary scores. Well, I guess it matters a little bit, but not really. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And our final score, 5. Starting from below, let them know. We got an 8.2. Then it goes up to a 9.2. 9.5, 9.7, and a 10! Give it for the poet, not the points. All right, we are on our penultimate poet, which means it's our second to last poet. So please, take all the energy from the very first poet to the very last poet, which is the poet after this one, not this one, and give it up for Mike Ting!
This poem is about noodles. Actual noodles. And no, the noodles are not a metaphor for some long, winding, seemingly unending struggle that can only be broken when one sinks their teeth into it. No. This poem is just about noodles and how much I fucking love them. There are few things in life than discovering there's a new noodle joint in your neighborhood that's promoting an authentic Taiwanese beef noodle soup and realizing it's not some hipster fusion, vinyls on the wall, no Asians in the kitchen, took over some local mom and pop shop $23 bowl of bullshit, and instead, it's just you and a piping hot bowl of good old-fashioned noodles. But no. The piping hot bowl of good old-fashioned noodles does not represent the circular logic that justifies the displacement of the other ingredients who were here before the noodles are now spilling out over the edges because the noodles are the only ones who can afford to live here. No, this is not about that. This is just about noodles and how much I love to eat them. Look, I'll teach you. When the broth threatens to singe your tongue anew, you can mimic what Asians have been doing for centuries and your way to a full stomach, taking in all of that cooled air to offset the heat serpentining down your throat, avoiding the looks and stares from those not versed in this ancient practice. But no. Avoiding the looks and stares from those not versed in this ancient practice does not represent the shame you keep bottled up inside you. The jeers of your childhood bullies, their jokes of you taking in food the way your mother instructed you how. No, this is not an analogy for the small ways in which you were made to feel small as a child. How you curled into the tightest ball of rice until the laughter steamed its way out of you. No, this poem is just about noodles and the way life and food and culture run parallel in crystalline formations, beautiful like the way a mouth opens when it knows only good things are coming its way. Why is it that every time I try to write about the things I love, there's always some bowl being dropped? China shattered at my feet. I swear, if you let the egg, flour, and water knead together in your mouth, you can hear my grandmother praying to a God she doesn't know for a better life. If you sip the broth with purpose, you can see my mother bargaining with the bank to not take our home away. If I can't write about something so pure as a bowl of noodles without letting the other ingredients in my life seep in, then let us mix it all together. Let us cook on our own terms. Let us say how much salt stays in these old wounds and how much we toss over our shoulder to keep the devil off our tracks. Sometimes the poem is a seance, an invitation to dine with each of our ghosts, but it doesn't always have to be. It can create life too. It can warm the stomach. It can stretch into any direction we pull it to the moment we finally learn to let it all go. Trauma is a dish best served in the past, yet it always has a way of making it back up our throats, into the ink that floods our pens, onto the pages we swear are hungry for something else.
Give it up for Mike Ting! Judges, let me get them scores for the second to last time. Whew, it's been a big, long slam. Well, not long, but full of emotions and intense. So can we all just take a breath real quick together? Just like a collective, just like 1, 2, 3, just... Thank y'all for being here this evening. All right, judges. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, starting from below, we got an 8.5. Then it goes up to a 9. And not 1, not 2, but 3 10s. All right. Let them know. I guess they didn't really like that poem. But we've made it, folks. We're on our last poet of the night. But first, I want you guys to give yourselves a hand. You guys did great this evening. Yeah. Wow. You guys must not really be enthusiastic about yourselves. But it's okay. I'm not either. Anyway, moving on. Our last poet. Please give as much energy as you did to the first poet as you are giving to this last poet here right now. Please give it up for Reggie!
God reinvents the gold chain circa 2019. Last night, before bed, a nigga in the hood got down on his knees and prayed to me for a noose that would look pretty against the black of his neck before the night swallowed him into a sleep so deep I could barely tell he was breathing. Afterwards, I melted down the stars until I could work them into the tiniest ovals, hammered a galaxy's worth together until each ringlet became a prayer that unraveled itself into an infinity of hands grasping another infinity of hands until they both became something bigger than depression. A chain is a flexible series of interconnected metal links used for fastening and securing objects, and gold is a precious metal so shiny I have watched niggas kill each other just to see whose blood will look prettier because of it. Truth be told, every star in the night sky is the ghost of a black boy who called out to me and got exactly the death he was looking for. So every chain in the hood got a Bible's worth of prayer, a litany of dead names holding hands until they become a Mobius, the sun's fastening a black boy earthbound. Don't you dare ask me to call you home in the dead of night when I can give you all that shines in the dark blue sky, boy. There are days where I see your ass glow sunlight yellow, where you smile supernova hot. Do you expect me to braid that kind of flaming joy into a slipknot death? I can make the cool metal of a chain link fence feel more comfortable against your skin than any twisted cord, so let me sing into your ear while you sleep. Let me give you a sunrise hymn. And if you must be drenched in blood, let it be the ichor from my own veins. Let me pour a gold chain around your neck, each ringlet, an infinity of hope, grasping another infinity of hope until they both become a bigger prayer of please stay alive, please stay alive, please stay alive. And when the morning comes, and you look at yourself in the mirror, see yourself draped in celestial light, dripping and fly as fuck, when they asked you what happened here, you tell them that you found God in the light of a golden pendant reflected in the warmth of your own body. You tell them that God's out here giving out ropes to something a nigga ain't even got to choke on.
Give it up for Reggie! All right. Judges, let me get them scores, them arbitrary scores. Got 1, got 2, got 3, they got 4, and 5. All right, starting from below, we got a 9.0. All right, that's some feelings. And then it goes up to 9.8, 9.8, and then not 1, but 2 10s. Give it up for the poet! And thus, we bring our evening to a close. But I know it's sad, but we'll be here next week. We are here every Wednesday night at the Starry Plough starting at 8:30. And while my judges can tabulate the scores, let me just tell you about a couple other shows. Oh, look, what are these? These are flyers for those shows. This is the Berkeley Slam flyer. It tells you all the details about what needs to happen up here. But we also have the Santa Cruz Word Church, which is every Monday at the Veterans Hall, 4 o'clock workshop, 6:30 sign up. We have this really cool 2-sided one, which is the Rich Oak Alchemy and the Oakland Slam. Oakland Slam is every third Tuesday at Lucas Tap Room. Rich Oak Alchemy Slam is every first and third Saturday at the Allen Bluford Center for Justice. San Jose. Oh, it is? Oh, shit. Might have to get off work early then. All right. Then there's also the San Jose Slam if you're ever going that way, every second Sunday at the Caravan Lounge. And are my judges ready? Oh, not judges. Thank you, score people. All right. So this evening is the Last Chance Slam, which is the last chance that people have the opportunity to compete to be on the Berkeley Slam team. So we're only taking the top 2 people this evening to be able to compete, and not next week, but the week after semifinals. So we have semifinals next week, semifinals 2 the week after, and then finals the week after that. But who wants to hear who are winners this evening? Yeah. So, coming in second place, who's going to be performing in 2 weeks. Give it up for Angelica! And our second competitor, that's going to be happening in 2 weeks. Please give it up for Alex! But please, give it up for every single poet who touched the stage tonight. This was amazing. And thank you all so very much. That's me. I'm your host, Kalalia. It's been a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.